Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Alter Ego Podcast, episode 108. I'm your host, Jack Austin. That's a lot. Get caught up. There will be a test later.
Yep.
And, of course, my lovely seductress with me as always.
Hello.
Ryan's on vacation with his beautiful wife.
What a loser.
We brought in a very special guest.
It's one letter off from the other guy.
If you're a Seven Lamb fan, you probably already know who it is. Mr. Brian Messick.
It is Mr. Brian Messick.
What
Hello,
is the word,
everybody.
my
Not much, man. I'm on the Alter Ego podcast.
That's right.
I am here to join you.
Funny story. I looked at all the roles that you've played. You always play my boss in almost everything.
That's a lesson. That's something there.
I was looking at the cast of Crystal Blue. I was like, he's my boss here.
I'm Captain's Hilts. So all of the Hiltses that have ever existed, I represent that what is it? Yeah, I represent them in the timeline, whatever the timeline is.
You're every variant,
every variant of a Hiltz. I have to be now. Yeah. I think it's
and you're Gene in Tower 4, who's Mike's boss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you now picking it together too?
Oh no, I am the only one I'm not your boss in is
no
is
in
Arthur.
Paralyzed you were Steve and I was
Steve.
Charlie and Charlie worked for Steve.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's true.
Wow.
I was Steve for a very short time.
Yeah.
And then
same.
Yeah, the only one that I guess I'm not your boss in is being Arthur.
Yeah. Then they're just BFFs.
And then they're just BFFs. Finally with besties.
Finally. At long last.
After all this time, you really want to be my bestie.
Right. And I think I know what brought them together. Ford Supply Company offers our next sponsor, Ford Supply Company, which offers a curated line of craft soaps and beard care, handmade in the USA, offering scents like coffee, which I finally have. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Happy Father's Day to all y'all out there. Coffee and cream, coconut, citrus, cedarwood, and many more. Check out the full line of craft soap bars, beard oil, and beard balm online at FordSupply.com. Free U.S. shipping on all orders over $35, and get an additional 10% off with promo code ALTEREGO.
Get that soap smell good.
Real soap.
Yeah.
Real soap.
No bullshit.
There it is. Ryan's usually right there.
I know. I usually say none, so I'm mentally spaced. I add my own flair to the end.
I said, buy soap, smell good.
That's it.
I mean, that's a great soap slogan, too.
Buy soap, smell good.
I mean,
you want to smell good, right? Buy some soap.
Right. I just got the one that smells like coffee and cream, and I'm just ready for it.
Is it?
Have you showered
never
earlier?
even tried it.
I'm showered tonight.
I'm using their competition, which is the mainstream version of all that crap.
Oh boy, you got to buy local, man.
Well, yeah.
Speaking of buying local, Tony and Nello's. They're our second sponsor. They haven't sent me an ad yet, so I'm sorry. I'm holding out. I will not read the old ad.
They are a Southern Italian cuisine and grill on the outskirts of
They are.
I have heard many good things about that restaurant.
No, you said they are. They are not cuisine.
They are a Southern Italian cuisine and grill. I'm saying it the way that it's written.
Yeah, but Tony and Nello are real people. They're human beings.
Tony and Nello's the restaurant is a Southern Italian cuisine and grill located on the outskirts of Tierra Verde. Shut up.
How can something be a cuisine unless it is a plate of food?
No.
You're
off on that. A cuisine is a style.
That's correct.
Tony and Nello's Southern Italian cuisine and grill.
Oh, she got her own correction. I was like, do you really want that?
What's the phone number? 727-867-3577.
There you go. Or check out TonyandNellos.com.
And tell them for Alter Ego 2 you get discount.
Yeah, so you said you've heard good things about them. They're all true.
I have really heard amazing things about that place.
It's great.
I have not gone out there and eaten, but I really want to.
Go.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of places in St. Pete that is just like that you hear that many good things about. So.
Yeah.
Right. The only thing they have for the St. Pete crowd is they're a little far, but it's worth the drive.
It is a little far.
It's not that bad. Just $275 down to
Go out to Don. What? I don't know who I am.
The Don Cesar.
Not the Don Cesar. What's the park down there?
Fort DeSoto.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I've had a really long week. My brain is not working.
Right.
Yes, go out to Fort DeSoto, spend the day.
Yeah.
go by Tony and Nello's, have a delicious cuisine.
And then go home and take a shower with some
one cuisine.
If you one cuisine, please. I'll be right
I would
over
like
here.
the Southern Italian style. Por favor.
The one cuisine.
I'll just say this: if you do that, if you spend all day at Fort DeSoto and then go eat at Tony and Nello's and then go home,
You're going straight to bed.
sleep for a week.
I think there's no better sleep than a Fort DeSoto, Tony and Nello's sleep.
Yeah, that's probably
I'm
fair
on board.
assessment.
All right, so all of our wonderful listeners are probably like, wait a minute, there's a new person. We need a list.
New person.
So
List.
we have everybody give us their top 5 comic book characters, not heroes, not villains, just characters in general. So there can be bad guys on the list. They don't have to be Marvel or DC. We talked a little bit about this prior, but I'm just putting the rules out there for you.
Right.
So do you want to go from 5 to 1? Because you didn't rank them.
Oh, I didn't know I had to rank them.
Yeah. Fuck.
Sure.
Yeah.
5 to 1.
You want to go from 5?
Well, I have to remember my list.
Hold on. I got you. I'm going to get up the notepad here on the old laptop.
No, it's all good. I could freestyle it. We'll go number 5.
Okay.
From when I was a young man, Lobo, because I really did like Lobo comics.
Everybody's
back in the day,
favorite galactic bounty hunter.
and showing up in all the heavy metal magazines I used to read. And number 4 would have to be Spider-Man, because the new iterations of Spider-Man and the games have really, and Tom Holland, I like it a lot.
How did you get into liking comic book stuff? Like for me, it was video games way back in the day.
Well, for me, it was comic books, like way back in the day. I had some comic books, but I was never much of like a collector kid, So it became that in video games, I mean, I was Star Wars generation, so you get into all that, and then things come out. G.I. Joe, what I mean?
Yeah. So for me, collecting meant spending money, so that wasn't going to happen.
No, I basically would ask, and occasionally I'd get a comic book or something, but and
then you'd find one of 4 and be like, shit.
That's no lie.
Yeah.
That's one of the frustrating parts about being a kid trying to find comic books. So I could never really. I had a little collection there for a while. It was like the Superman's Dead collectible era.
Sure.
The black zipped up bag magazines you can't read because they're supposed to be worth something someday.
Yeah.
I had that.
There you go.
But I was never a.
So
a big
Death
DC.
of Superman was a big one. For
Death
you.
of Superman was. It was a big thing culturally, at the time. So I kind of wanted one and I got one, but I didn't really. It wasn't a thing for me, Like Batman, of course, was always a thing, and Nolan's Batman, blah blah blah. We all know there's superior Batmans and inferior Batmans, but Spider-Man, I always liked Spider-Man, and I feel like it's kind of an easy go-to for people. Spider-Man. Everybody loves Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's an icon. You can't go wrong with Spider-Man.
But I really do love, especially in recent history, the iterations of Spider-Man in the games and in universe. It's pretty just enjoyable character.
All right, so number 3.
Number 3, we'll go Tony Stark,
Ooh.
Iron Man, because that's the one I probably identified with the most and identify with the most.
You identified with him being a billionaire and
just being stunningly good looking and so charming
smart.
and so smart. Those are the things.
How could I forget?
I mean, come on. I'm like a blown up version of Tony Stark. I'm a giant Tony Stark.
I'm if Tony Stark was stung by a whole mess of bees.
It's like if Tony Stark and She-Hulk had a baby. And then
oh boy, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here.
Okay. You know what? Now, because I do really like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to.
I remember the first time seeing Incredible Hulk. I'm like, so wait a minute. He's going to turn green and huge and beat everyone's ass? I'm in.
And he just gets stronger.
Right.
There's no way to. I mean, I think classically in comic books, there's really no limit to how strong he can get.
Absolutely.
But then he gets smarter, and then he becomes like a smart.
The Gray Hulk.
Himself.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of character development, personal development in that character that I really identify.
I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but I think Hulk's one of the only ones who could take Superman to the woodshed.
Yeah, I mean,
he just keeps getting stronger.
He does. Well, and that's the idea too. Is it's like he's the harder he gets pushed, the stronger he gets, to the point where they had to kind of limit him, in this iteration in this universe.
Endgame?
Yeah.
Infinity War.
Yeah,
Infinity War.
But of course, then in that you have Captain Marvel, who's supposed to also be like impossibly strong, and
right.
Well,
it makes it not fun.
Agreed. That's why I can't
strong.
stand Superman.
Right.
Like, I love the actor playing Superman,
Henry Cavill. Now,
yeah, I love him as a human being. I would make love to Henry Cavill.
There you go.
Who would you flip for? Henry Cavill's on the list. You know what I'm saying? But having said that, Jack's like, yeah, sure. I'm joking.
Well, no, I'd say Chris Hemsworth is probably on the list for a lot of guys.
I mean, they're
for a lot of gals too.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think the first time when I was talking about one time, he asked me. Like who would you flip for?
He's talking about Robert Lamb. By the way,
Robert Lamb,
7 Lamb Productions.
And I said back then it was like 8 years ago. I think I said Daniel Craig because we were all into Bond at the time. So I guess I like really manly men.
For me, it was Brad Pitt for the longest time.
Brad Pitt is a sexy man, even
He's a
now.
good-looking guy.
He is. So anyway, but
so,
I've never
speaking of being
enjoyed
the
Superman for whatever reason. So anyway, so number 1 is going to be Thor.
Yep.
Oh.
Because
the God of Thunder.
The God of Thunder. And because of Hemsworth, because of this iteration of Thor, it's just so enjoyable.
Yep.
He's so fun and funny and doesn't take himself seriously.
Yeah.
And he falls apart. He's so human for a god.
Yeah, that's very true.
I find him very identifiable.
I think that's a really good perspective because I've always been the one that, I liked Thor: The Dark World when he was really serious. I liked serious Thor storylines. I wasn't a big fan of Ragnarok because of kind of how goofy it was. But the more it's gone on and the more you see the emotional journey that Thor's gone on, it started to I don't know, become more endearing.
I think
it's
more
endearing. It makes more sense
over time. It's like it kind of like it evolves.
Well, it really hit me in Infinity War when he's sitting with Rocket and he's like, "Yeah, Thanos just killed my brother. My dad's dead. My mom got killed by a dark elf. My best friend just got murdered." And I was like, "Fuck!"
And I lost my eye.
Yeah. And Rocket's just like, shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was bad being torn apart and put back together a million times.
Rocket's like, well, I just pulled this eyeball out of my ass.
You want it?
You want it?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard, with the way movies have gone now. It's like how everything just seems like it's got to be some big blockbuster MCU type style movie for it to make any waves. But I don't regret having the MCU what it is.
No, I love it.
It's really quite just enjoyable. And I haven't seen The Last Doctor Strange yet because I was waiting to go see it.
Well,
But
it'll
I'll
be out
watching it soon.
on Disney Plus soon.
Yeah, on
for
the
no
20th,
extra
I
charge.
think.
Yeah.
Or 22nd.
Next week.
Yeah, next week?
Today's the 20th, gentlemen.
Yeah.
So Wednesday.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when all the series drop as well. Like,
I kept wondering, why is it so hot? Oh, yeah, it's June in Florida.
It's literally June 20th.
I mean, wasn't
today. And you guys are like, next week. I'm like, are we time traveling?
No, it's like Friday, right?
No, it should be
It
Wednesday.
should be on
It should be the
Wednesday,
22nd. Yeah, because that Disney Plus drops all their new stuff on Wednesdays.
That's good.
Probably to steer away from the Friday releases.
Yeah, I mean, you got
Netflix does all the Friday stuff.
right. So, no villains on your list. No bad guys.
No, there are good bad guys in comic books. There are very many good bad guys.
Any honorable mentions?
I mean,
You named one that didn't make the list before we press record,
who?
which was Billy the Butcher.
Oh, Billy Butcher, yeah. So
He's
obviously,
too new.
He's too new, and I don't know him. Like, I know him from The Boys. I don't know him as a comic book character version of Billy
Sure.
Butcher, but damn, that's a good character.
Yeah.
I really
love
just
it.
and him, Carl Urban. Fucking Christ, man! I've seen him through you go back and you look at all the movies he's been in, and you see him as Billy Butcher, and you're just like, well, this is some damn fine acting.
Well,
Yeah,
think
right.
about him.
This is
I
a
mean,
change of pace.
This is a change.
He's been Bones in Star Trek. He's been
Oh shit, he was Bones in Star Trek.
He was Scourge in Thor Ragnarok. He was one of the riders of Rohan in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
He was Judge Dredd, and now he's Billy Butcher.
Oh my god!
This guy
dude.
is-
You're right. He's everywhere. He's like. So I used to have this. I used to have this thing with one of my old girlfriends. It was about Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman. He's in everything, right?
is.
And we'd make little memes about him, like in a ham sandwich or like in tacos. It's like Ron Perlman. But he used to be like around the Hellboy
The
times
Hellboy
and all that.
time,
He
yeah.
was in everything, and there was like nothing I didn't believe Ron Perlman could do justice to.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, oh wait, shit, is this the new thing? Is this the new Ron Perlman, Carl Urban, Carl Urban, Carl
Urban, yeah.
Whatever the hell.
Oh, he was also in Doom with The Rock.
Oh, I didn't see Doom.
You didn't miss anything.
No, I didn't think I did.
Don't go watch it. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it. Shall we?
Oh,
We've got some
we're
limited
already
stuff. Some some good stuff to talk about. Some bad stuff. But let's start with the good stuff.
Okay.
DC makes the list today.
How is that starting
is
with the
that?
good stuff?
Because
that massive disappointment that is the DC cinematic universe.
Yeah, but they've had one good offering recently, and that was The Batman.
Okay.
Which I did not see, but I hear is amazing, and I will watch it this weekend maybe.
And Joker.
that was like a roller coaster of emotions.
Yes, I know. It is because I feel bad because I have it. And Joker too. I didn't watch Joker for a long time just because I hear it's so like dark and like
it is so
good,
though.
but it's like it'll rip your heart out type shit. So I avoided it, and now I'm like, fuck. Now I have to watch it. And the Batman, everyone's like, it's really good. And I'm like, I wanted to hate it. Obviously, I can't because it's really good. So I'm going to watch it. I'm going to enjoy it.
I loved it. I thought he was just as good as any other Batman.
Yeah, this was my favorite.
Your favorite?
Yeah.
Wow.
But so in Joker 2, which obviously they've got the cast they're working on and the script they're working on, they've found their
This is boo news.
Harley Quinn.
This is boo news.
It's not going to be Margot Robbie?
No.
Okay.
That's not connected.
Well, because that's right. That's sorry, they're not connected.
It's Lady Gaga.
Oh, I did see that.
Why is that boo news? I need to hear from the Peanut
news.
Gallery as to why. So she's a musician. She's been nominated for some of her acting performances as being really good.
Yeah, where she sings because she's phenomenal at singing, which is where she should continue to be.
Well, here's what I'm going to say.
Margot Robbie is fantastic.
Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. She is.
She was born to play that role.
Well, she's going to be Barbie now. Have fun with that.
You know, she was also kind of born to play that role too, actually.
But I don't know. Like I have prejudged a lot of these casting decisions, and I've been wrong. So
I will not prejudge a casting decision ever since I thought Heath Ledger was going to be bad at Dark Knight.
Same.
Now, hold on a second. I'm going to rewind you back to the No Way Home episode where
not me.
for your audio land. When we were talking about Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and
my God.
Tom Holland.
So much.
What about him?
You're going to sit there and say, no, only one person can play that role when we had three in a movie do it all really well. Come on.
2.5.
No, I'm down with this.
I'm not gonna lie
I
either.
like this Joker verse being separate.
It has to be.
itself.
It all has to be.
No, but does it have to be? Never mind.
Well, you can't mix like the Suicide Squad version of all of these characters with this super ultra grim, dark, serious
she
version.
might surprise us because
Especially-
I think
she's
she
goofy
will.
and weird.
She's gonna
and
be
out there.
insane. She's gonna come out, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck did I just see?"
She is very sideways, like just in her personality, not in like a bad way, but like just she's very eccentric.
Exactly.
And it's
So
gonna be
I will
interesting.
probably foot in mouth.
And her with what's it?
Joaquin
Joaquin
Phoenix.
Phoenix, like that. There's something about that
see,
chemistry. I'm
I'm
feeling.
not a big Joaquin Phoenix
But
Joker
think
fan,
about-
so
think about
we've already
his-
been through this.
His you haven't seen it, but he was such an obsessive person
Yeah,
over people that didn't even knew he existed.
yeah.
Yeah.
As you could tell with some of the scenes that they shot. I don't want to do too many spoilers. Fuck it, the movie's been out a long time. But he obsesses over this woman that lives in the apartment building, scenes with her, having dinner with her, and then at the end, he goes into her apartment. She's like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Oh, man.
And he's just like, "What are you talking about?" All crazy like the Joker. And you're just like, "Oh my God!" And so now he's going to have this on the opposite end. How's he going to react with Harley Quinn?
Yeah, well,
I think it's gonna be something new and special. I mean, that's the only universe that I feel like in DC Comics that can be used. It gets tiring.
Yeah.
That it's like rebooted over and over and over again, and they got to tell a different version of the damn story.
They do.
Which is important.
And I think they did that with Joker.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've got some more stuff to talk about. Speaking of recasting,
I did want to say one thing about Joaquin Phoenix, because he had disappeared for a long time, and then he came back with that movie where he was like hunting for like that girl. You know what I'm talking about? He was like an ex-vet who's that movie
with the hammer.
I can't remember what it's called. Were you ever there?
Oh, yeah.
Were you ever really there? That movie, what a mind fuck. That movie was great, and that was dark, and he was amazing. And I was like, oh, wow, I really like Joaquin Phoenix now.
I might have to watch that because that sounds right up my alley.
It's good.
He's a very eccentric actor. And I like him a lot. I've liked him ever since Gladiator.
He's the Crispin Glover school.
When I was ever like hating his character, I'm automatically like, I love this dude. If you can make me that angry,
if you can make me actually feel something about your character.
Oh, it's not I'm still here. That's something different.
No, it's art. Well, I think it's were you ever really there?
Were you ever really here? Yes.
Here, okay, yeah.
Not playing the trailer, but there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should definitely watch that movie if you like really messed up psychological. It's not even that messed up. It's
this
just
one, me.
It's dark. It explores this character. It's very interesting. It explores a side of the world that's, like
not the United States.
Not the United States. What was that movie that was amazing back then? I know we have a lot to talk about. 11 millimeter.
That's the one with
Nicolas
Cage and Joaquin Phoenix. They're investigating hardcore pornography snuff where typically the female is murdered.
That movie fucked my world up. I think I was like 20 something when I watched it because it came out a long time ago. And that have you seen that? You should watch it. If you like grim, dark, fucked up shit, that will fuck your world up.
I've seen that.
I gotta strap in for something like that.
There's a crazy
it will take you
moment in that movie.
It will take you in fucking places that you like. The exploration of the dark side of humanity. Whoo, lordy, that shit's formative.
Like my senior year in college in my criminology class.
That would fit right in. So okay, we're gonna move past all my dark shit.
It's gonna get going.
I actually like that sort of shit.
We're staying there.
This is a perfect segue because
speaking of recastings, Ezra Miller
and dark shit because of bad society.
As Flash is most certainly out.
12-year-old, right?
14 to 18. 4 years of child trafficking.
And alleged violence, psychological intimidation, and other
grooming.
Stuff like that.
Oh, God.
And the CEO has already come out and said, no, we're not keeping him.
Yeah, he's bye now.
We're going to be recording over anything we've got.
I'll be interested to see if that's not just a major killer for DC. And they're already going poorly. But now this movie's supposed to come out June 23rd of next year. Who's going to want to go see it?
Yeah, unless they can. Yeah, they're gonna have to. They'd have to recast and reshoot the whole fucking.
And
movie.
They can't do it.
They can CGI another face in,
especially with some of the stuff that they've been showing from that movie. Ezra Miller plays more than one role in the movie.
Oh, Lord.
So they're gonna have to do a lot if they're going to want to change that. But anyway,
this
is Amber Heard. There's that.
Yeah,
we got Amber Heard. She's out of Aquaman.
Can we just have better people?
There's rumors.
Can humans just be better? Can for all of us? Can I just ask all of humanity? Can we all just try to be better?
Peace on Earth, please, peace on Earth.
Because it would make my life a lot easier. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I think that goes for a lot of people.
Yeah. And us,
but I don't care about other people because I'm not one of the good ones.
Wow, I was about to say. There you go. So speaking of not one of the,
I've had a monster. It brings out the monster inside. Where's our friggin' ad revenue? Sorry.
Vince McMahon stepping down as WWE CEO.
Well, he's probably too old.
Alleged
to wrestle.
misconduct there as well, and a couple of the female performers having left with multi-million-dollar contracts, having never been in the ring.
Wasn't there like some shit that was signed though? Some NRAs,
probably
NDAs.
NDAs.
He's
that's
like,
the one.
You got to sign this NDA, then touch my junk, and then I'll give you $3 million.
But see. What's nefarious about that?
I mean, if everyone was consensual, if it was consensual adults making deals.
I mean, I don't condone. That's basically prostitution. I
condone prostitution if it's consensual.
What? I have nothing.
I did that on purpose. I'm sorry.
No, but it's it is a NDA. It is consenting adults. It was said to be a consensual affair. However, when you're a publicly traded company and you are in the eye of the public, it really doesn't matter.
I was trying to fight for him because at least it's adult consensual situations.
At least it's not Ezra Miller.
No, I don't think anybody's fighting
and look, he did bad things. he's stepping down. He's fucking old as sin anyway. Like he's made he wins in this situation. No matter what, he wins.
Do you watch any wrestling? Were you a wrestling fan?
I did. I'm not a wrestling fan, especially now, but there's a part of me that like when I was a kid, I loved it. Hulk Hogan, all the fun shit.
Sure.
And then, and then I got really cynical and was like, people who watch this are stupid.
Yeah,
and very judgmental. And then I came back around to like, I don't want to watch it, but I'm not hating on people who enjoy it because it became like a comic book level thing. It's a fun production for people, and if you like it, you like it. That's fine.
I saw an interesting argument regarding wrestling and it being fake. With somebody who runs a wrestling show, and he had a guest on his show, and the guy was like, this stuff's fake, right? And I was like, that's such an ignorant thing to come in and say. I'm like, hey, a purple alien didn't snap his fingers and half the population of the entire universe died, right? So why are you going to go watch it if you already know?
The circus is real.
Right.
But it's entertainment,
but it's also
it's people doing crazy fucking shit, right? So then you go to the circus, maybe, right? You go to see Cirque du Soleil or whatever, like, oh, it's beautiful, whatever. That's all wrestling really is. It's just a different type of circus. It's humans doing crazy human shit but it's got a theme and a story that's fun for people.
Yep, and that's how I was just thinking the same thing. But wrestling anymore, like AEW is fun if you're a wrestling fan to watch. I highly suggest if you are a wrestling fan and have been disconnected, type in this in your YouTube and watch this. MJF Pipe Bomb AEW. It is one of the most insane things. Bomb. So he
put that in YouTube, not your browser, because you don't know what the fuck that's going to bring up.
I promise you, you are going to see a young man who does not look like your typical wrestler, who is a crazy draw for AEW. Like, nobody's ever heard of him. Like, he only got on screen one time for WWE as one of the security guards walking with Samoa Joe. Then he goes over to AEW. They hand this boy a microphone. He instantly becomes one of the best guys that they have.
Really?
And then he gets on the mic, and it's one of those moments where they said, go out there and talk about what you want to talk about. Air your grievances. And he does. He goes after ownership. He goes after the guys in the back. He goes after the company. And to the point where they end up, I'm going to pardon my French here, but he says to the owner of AEW, fire me, you fucking mark. Come down here and fire me. I dare you. And then throws the mic because they cut it off on him and he walks out.
That's baller. That's fucking baller.
It is one of the greatest moments I've ever seen watching wrestling. Because, like, here's the funny thing. And now
he's got a contract.
You know how good he is. You know how good he is when he walks out and there are resounding boos. And he goes, everybody shut your mouth. And then he starts talking trash. And everybody's like, yeah. Yeah. So go watch that. It's incredible. Anyway, moving on. TV, movies. We got a little bit before we got to take our first break. Yeah, we're going to be taking a break here shortly. Getting into TV and movies, we got Justin Lin, the director of the Fast and Furious movie, who's going to be directing a live-action One Punch Man movie.
What?
Anybody watch the anime One Punch Man?
No,
I have seen the anime One Punch Man. I don't really get the draw.
Have you watched it all the way through?
No.
There you go.
I'm sure there is a reason why it's a big deal and why people love it.
Because this show...
It seems hilarious. It's a hilarious premise that I really enjoy.
See, I know nothing
so the premise of One Punch Man is it's essentially an anime making fun of all other animes.
Okay.
And your protagonist, One Punch Man, is so much better than literally he lives in a world where they are attacked by these giant monsters on the daily, and they have monsters that go after society, and then these level of heroes, and it goes from F tier class all the way to S tier, and One Punch Man is better than literally all of them.
Because he beats everyone
but
with
he
one
shows
punch.
Up and he's so bored, and he never he's like,
I've seen the bored face where he's just like, boom.
Yeah. And like literally will destroy something's body with one punch.
That does sound entertaining.
He never ever gets credit for what he does.
It's always the other
he's
superheroes.
Always done it, and the other superheroes are like, that was me, baby. And it's hysterical.
It's a tribute to all the people, all the lower level people who make everything happen.
Because it's like one of my things is it's like there's this hero who's like accepting death, and One Punch Man walks up butt ass naked, and she is like going into full overdrive in anime moments where people typically freak out, and she's getting ready to kill an entire city, and he bitch slaps her out of existence. She flies in, and he's just like, I'm sick of you. Boom! And then everybody who's around there fighting for their lives is like, what just happened? So now we're going to get a live action version of that.
Okay, that actually, now I might actually really enjoy that, especially from the creator of Fast and Furious, because I mean those movies
as the director,
pardon me, they're terrible, but they're great. Like I grew up with Fast and Furious, and like the whole generation. One Punch
Man isn't as strong as family.
No, nothing as strong as family.
So let's get into that after this quick break.
Family.
So what we're going to do is right here, and we're back. Okay, One Punch Man movie. So now we're into this.
Well,
now that we've heard a little bit of a premise, now we're okay with watching One Punch Man?
Sure.
Yes.
So who do they cast as One Punch Man with literally no hair? Jason Statham?
Oh my God, Jason Statham as One Punch Man would be beautiful.
It's actually not terrible.
Do we start the campaign right now for a One Punch Man?
Well, I guess One Punch Man's a little taller and slimmer.
I would be willing to make those sacrifices.
I almost feel like it has to be an Asian actor.
I don't know, man.
It
doesn't necessarily have to be. If it's being I don't know. Put into live action, I don't know who we could get to do that. But whatever, I'm here for it.
Trust me, there's someone who's going to be perfect for it.
There's one that you're going to be interested in. Actually, as a matter of fact, you brought this one to my attention. There's going to be a live action Hercules movie.
Yes, there is.
Do you think Danny DeVito reprises the role of Phil?
I hope so.
He so could.
I hope so.
Danny DeVito could be Phil right now today.
Yes.
I would be the Hercules movie from like the 90s we're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's
live action.
There's also the Little Mermaid live action.
Yes, I was going to say the trailer came out for that.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That
was.
It does. Well, this trailer didn't show
so
anything.
Sick of the live action remakes of cartoon movies. I'm kind of.
I don't mind it, and this is my argument always has been the old movies, the originals are not going anywhere. So if you don't want to, like, it's a whole different. Take on it.
I didn't think Aladdin was going to be great, and it was.
Yeah,
and
that was a really different rendition.
See, I disagree with you. I thought that one was not good. I didn't like that one. I didn't like Lion King.
Lion King was like
shot
for
Hercules,
shot.
I feel like
was a shot. Yeah, it was a shot for shot.
I think Hercules has a chance to be a different one.
I think Hercules has a chance to be absolutely
I mean, if they do the humor, they do it all
Who
well.
Who we getting for Hercules?
That is a tough
Jason Momoa.
I mean, hey, why not your boy Henry Cavill? He could do it.
Oh, Henry Cavill can do anything.
So could Chris Hemsworth.
Hemsworth would be a great Hercules.
We haven't had either one of them in a Disney
But he's
movie.
basically
Marvel.
Hercules now.
That's true.
They're going to have to Steve Rogers that thing if they're going to show young Herc, who's a much smaller guy.
No, they can use his son if they did Chris Hemsworth. He's in the new Thor movie apparently.
You've got it all figured out.
I'm ready to direct this bitch.
It's already directed by Guy Ritchie.
Oh, well.
It's a Guy Ritchie Hercules?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't say that.
I know
Fuck yeah, I'm in.
I saved that little nugget.
Oh, yes.
Step aside, Guy.
Yes.
So you've got now if it's Guy Ritchie, I could see, like Charlie Hunnam being the guy he's going to want to go with or something.
I don't care who he does. I just want to see this iteration.
Are we getting
Disney Guy Ritchie?
Disney
James
Guy Ritchie
Woods?
movie.
Is that who? Are we getting James Woods?
I doubt you see James Woods.
The thing that's great. Oh, God.
Politics.
That's why.
He will not be in a Disney film.
Oh, no, I understand. No, I do love it.
And they would never ask him. Like, I think it's a mutual agreement that they will not ever work together because of his political beliefs.
And moving on.
I just
Star Wars. Taika Waititi has go. What were you gonna say?
Well, now okay.
I
just want to see the guy, like how the Guy Ritchie dark humor could translate
Through
into a
Hades?
Disney 80. Like it's gonna be that
Hades, Pain and Suffering.
Yes, I love it. I love every bit of that.
You were saying,
or is it Pain and Suffering or Pain and Panic?
Pain and Panic.
Pain and Panic.
Yeah. Next.
Taika Waititi.
I love him. He is my favorite person one of my favorite people on the planet.
He's definitely got a hot streak going.
Dude
right
is
now.
on
Good Lord.
fire.
He is doing a new Star Wars movie. We talked about it last week, the release schedule. I think this movie's not out until 2024 or 2025, something crazy. I could be wrong. Check the Instagram. But he says he's doing one about brand new characters and that he wants to expand the world. And quote, wanted to do new characters because without that, it's kind of a small story. And when I thought about him saying that, I was like, oh my God, Star Wars really is the Empire, the Rebels, Jedi, Sith, and Tatooine.
Yeah, it has been that. I mean, they've tried to expand it somewhat, but Boba Fett, whatever.
Mando's
the shit. Yeah. The Mandalorian is great, and that is it is an original thing, you know. I grew up on Star Wars. I used to love it so much, and I got back into it with Mandalorian and the movies I'm not happy with and all the fun, horrible shit that we all argue about, but I don't know, man. It's a beautiful universe. There's a lot of stuff in the Legends, all the books that I grew up reading that is really good.
And so that's why I think going with brand new characters is a completely great way to reset something in the Star Wars universe.
I'm thinking like Star Wars Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't know if we would get that. I do think we would get some wacky folks out of a Taika Waititi movie for sure. And I don't know if it needs to necessarily be a Jedi Sith kind of story.
Oh, I hope it's not. I hope it's more of a bounty hunter, side runner, smuggler maybe type thing. But of course, that's also like only one of the other tropes that we know, right?
I'd love to see us, as we were talking about this in the Alter Ego Discord not too long ago, about Force-sensitive folks that are not Jedi or Sith.
Yes.
People that carry the lightsaber and go through the universe and do not follow any of those creeds. Now I'm into.
That's some business right there.
Yeah, I'm all about that action, boss. But
I'm also interested in how that pertains to like the universe as far as like crafting and things concerned, because I think in the Legends there are people who are Force sensitives who make things. Even what was the animated Star Wars thing that came out? Visions, right? And there was that,
which was amazing.
It was fucking amazing. That the samurai one, oh my God. But
that's my favorite one.
But there was like in one of those, the one with the girl, and the guy was like a lightsaber maker, right? And it's like he was Force sensitive, I believe in that, and I think it kind of just fed into that whole thing. And I was like, yeah, there are, just like in any magical world, like you have artisans and artificers who use their magic to create things.
Sure.
Right? So I would like to see how that kind of pertains. Even the Mando has that a little bit.
Yeah, I liked that too. I liked the specifically, if you haven't watched Star Wars Visions, the one that he's talking about is the very first episode, and it's essentially in feudal Japan, but with the Force and Star Wars and stuff like that. And he is basically like the last Ronin of Jedi.
It's so dope. It's such a fun and interesting take on.
They're like 15 minutes. Literally, watch that one. Watch the old one. And I think there's one more that was really good.
I liked them all for what they offered. Even like the Bubble Boy one, the one about the robot or whatever.
I was not a fan of that.
I liked it all, but it was like because it hit on all these different animation styles and things from my childhood. And but I liked it all. But I also love Death and Robots like so much. It's one of my favorite things.
We just watched one of those that was really good.
It is so weird. I love it.
So weird.
But I grew up reading science fiction from like 6 years old, right?
Sure.
And deep, old cut science fiction. And anthologies were one of my favorite things, like the world's greatest science fiction anthologies that would come out every few years. Mm-hmm. So I would read these like anthologies of just short stories, and that was my whole childhood, So it's like for me, anthology series are like really a thing that I love. So
the one-off stuff.
Yeah, the shorts, like these little shorts. Well, in Love, Death, and Robots, some of them come back. Mm-hmm. Or you have the same people come back and do a story in the same style, but a different story, which is also fun. So it's almost like you're getting multiple glimpses of these people's mental worlds.
Sure.
Right? But it's not, there's no real consistency through, but I really do enjoy that.
We've kind of done a similar thing with Seven Lamb, with the story series. You know what I mean? That's what I love about that, is that every season is different. New characters, new things to dwell on. It kind of is such a freeing thing creatively. So I think I definitely dig the anthology series that you're talking about. It allows you to cover a lot of ground and also say what works, what doesn't work.
I think with a lot of like the classical science fiction authors in the anthologies I read, it's a short story. It's there they have an idea, they flesh out the idea, and here it is.
Yeah.
And you get a story. It usually has some sort of not complete resolution, but it leads you in a direction, and then it's done, and you're like, now you have that in your brain.
It's kind of a sandbox thing.
It's a brain worm. They put it in you and like, think about this idea.
Brain worm.
This is yours now. Forever.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I can't wait to see what Taika comes up with. He's definitely done some really good stuff.
I have not seen anything that he's done that I have not liked.
I liked Free Guy. We saw Free Guy, and I thought that was going to be... and then I was like, you know what? Free Guy was good.
Free Guy?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
That's Ryan Reynolds, the video game one.
Oh, you know, I haven't watched that, but it just came out recently. Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I think Taika Waititi has a really interesting lens from which he uses... that he sees the world and uses to create. I have not seen Jojo Rabbit.
I haven't either.
But I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, that's not one that grabs me.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I've heard great things, but
I set up to watch it, but it's like anything that deals with that material is really hard for me. Yeah. I don't know. I was a huge World War II historian buff when I was younger too, and I got my fill of that fucking darkness,
Yeah. So speaking of established worlds that are going on, no peeking at my notes.
I have been looking.
No looking.
Of extra stuff is Game of Thrones. We've got a lot of stuff coming out for Game of Thrones.
Don't care. Burn it all to the ground.
But what has been announced is a sequel series following. Sequel.
There's a sequel now. There's a prequel series.
There is the House of Dragons is going to be a prequel, but this one is going to be a sequel series following Jon Snow. Beyond the Wall with him and the Wildlings.
I'm here for it.
With Kit Harington set to reprise the role as Jon Snow.
Maybe I'll be here for it because it's the only way that they could redeem the shit show that was the final from that season.
Yeah,
it was the worst TV. Literally, like for what it was from the beginning to the ending is the worst fucking thing I have ever seen. It hurt me so bad, and I didn't even care that much. But I was so invested in a good story being told, and to just have it just dropped in literally they took it to the outhouse, they dropped it down into the cesspit, and just said, "We're done."
They put 2 seasons worth of content in 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's just not good.
And they just didn't. There just wasn't a good progress. Anyway, we all know. Everyone knows it was shit.
Right. But
if you don't think it's shit, I'm sorry, you suck.
This I'm into. This I'm willing to follow and see a new story following Jon Snow. I think a lot of these series, the prequel and the sequel series, are going to be better than Game of Thrones because they're not directly tied to George R.R. Martin and what he wants to do.
And it's not that hard to be better than that.
I mean, Winds of Winter still hasn't come out yet. Right?
I know.
I mean, so this big book that we finished the series, he's going to drop Winds of Winter, and everybody's expected to go out there and buy it.
I mean, I grew up. I never read those books. I was a Wheel of Time person, right? I loved the Wheel of Time. I've read most of it multiple times, and then Sanderson had to clean up in 3 books, 10, 11 books worth of hundreds of characters, and it wasn't neat. But it was done, and it wasn't horrible. It honored it honored everything that was there as best as it could, with the author being dead. Right? You have a guy who's alive.
Yeah.
And then they have the Wheel of Time series that just came out, and I was super excited about. And I'm really trying to hope, but I'm thinking that it's going to get the same treatment, and I'm not really thrilled about it.
I wasn't really a huge fan of the Wheel of Time series.
Again, I was 16 when I got the first free, because they used to give out free the first 15 chapters at the bookstore, right?
Yeah.
So I got this free book, and then I was like, oh, this is good. And then I read it for 10 fucking years. I read the series and went down the whole path, and it was, for me, it was a formative thing, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I did it, and I would like for the series to be more true to the books, even though it's very difficult when you have 1,000 fucking voiced characters.
Yeah. But I wasn't huge on Lord of the Rings when it came out, but now that I've come back, speaking of series that I've read, I've read the Lord of the Rings, I've read the Hobbit, all that. I loved it, and then I was like, I don't like this. Now that I look back and I hear other people's iterations that have been redone, I'm like, I'm okay. Lord of the Rings is good. I'll watch it.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I read The Hobbit. I never read Lord of the Rings, but I read The Hobbit when I was younger, and it was good.
Lots of food porn in that series.
He loved to talk about food.
We're gonna wake up and talk about breakfast.
Came from a different day, Food was different back then. You didn't have McDonald's and all this bullshit. You went down to the inn and they made you a delicious breakfast. See,
there was
eggs
no
and
McDonald's.
sausage,
No
right
McDonald's
from the pigs
at
out
Mordor.
back. There's no McDonald's in Mordor.
So on to video games. That's all we got for TV and movies this week. More stuff down the road for Marvel, but let's get into video games, shall we? Starfield recently announced. We talked about this a little bit last week with the Bethesda Xbox Game Showcase, that it's going to have over 1,000 planets to explore, 4 major cities fully fleshed out. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Full customization of your ship and your player.
What engine is it in?
I don't know what it is. They announced it and people freaked out about it.
Unreal, probably.
Probably. It looks gorgeous.
I will withhold my judgment.
Here's the big thing that people are now finding to be upset about is that you can't fly seamlessly from the atmosphere to the planet.
Hardware, listen. Fucking limitations.
You want a reality game?
Go buy a PC.
Right. Here's the thing that gets me, man, is like I was playing the new Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge out there and feeling so nostalgic, and the boys were like, what were video games like when you were a kid? And I was like, listen, son.
Listen, boy.
If I knew way back when that people would be complaining that you can't fly seamlessly from the atmosphere to the planet, when I had to go to a place that had video games because we didn't have consoles in our house, and we had to go play and spend quarters every time
of
we
money
wanted
that we had to beg our parents for.
I was like, and there were loading screens on the cabinet. You had to stop and wait for the cabinet to stop and think about the next level. And now you guys are like, I can't fly my fully customizable ship from space to the planet.
Yeah. This sucks.
This game is trash.
Jesus, I know.
Jesus, we were happy to be a plumber saving his wife from an angry gorilla.
Bitch, I had an Atari 2600.
Yeah.
I started with Atari 2600 in 1986.
Mario 64 was cutting edge technology when it came out.
Yeah. I had a Nintendo, a Super Nintendo, a Genesis, PlayStation, and then PS2 and 4 and Xbox. But my point, like I
evolved.
I grew up with the games, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And you need to quit complaining because hardware is amazing. My phone is more powerful than like 25 of my first computers.
Exactly right. 100%
Actually, probably
accurate.
more than that.
Yeah, and it actually computes so much faster. Wi-Fi,
My
all
phone
that.
has 16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
My fucking laptop has 16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah. People are talking about like if the tattoos look good on players in Madden. My football players were made up of 8 boxes.
Yes.
And you knew who they were by the number on their back.
I played
Head,
Super
body,
Tecmo Bowl.
That's right.
Super Tecmo Bowl.
Yep.
The
And now
I know,
we're
now
at this
like,
place.
Get off our lawn, goddammit.
Yeah. I remember when a dime cost a nickel. You son
We
of a
walked uphill both ways to school and wrapped our feet in newspapers and 16 feet of snow.
We didn't have video games. We got stoned and threw rocks at each other.
And if we were hungry, our mama would hand us a rock.
Wow.
Chew on this wrench, you ungrateful bastard. Anyway, Starfield's going to be
Point
awesome.
is, goddamn, man. Butch the fuck up.
Have a little patience.
New Assassin's Creed being announced in September.
Is it?
The most recent offering was Valhalla.
I just saw, I just saw a thing for new Assassin's Creed.
It's a DLC for Valhalla.
Oh, that was a DLC. Okay.
Odin's something.
I didn't play Valhalla.
That game was really awesome, but here's the thing. We've talked about this on the show, so I'm not going to harp on it, but some of the open worlds are a little too open.
I'm over fucking open world games, dude.
I'm like, it's dope, but I don't want to have to ride my boat for 6 hours to get where I need to go. That's cool.
No, I agree.
I'll take a spaceship that flies seamously.
After Horizon Zero Dawn, which I loved, I can't even bring myself to play the West one because I'm already burnt out. I haven't even touched it yet. I have that sickness, the side quest sickness, and no matter how hard I fight it, I just one more over here, one more until the whole map is uncovered, and I'm like, why?
It's one of those things where, like Red Dead, you're like, I've got to really worry about getting my gang out of this situation so we can make just a little bit of money,
Just a little bit of money.
And then I'm driving riding my horse. He's like, I need 5 raccoon skins. I'm like, I fucking got you, man. I got you. I love it. I'm worried about the whole camp, but let me stop and get your raccoons.
It's true. The last game that really, the whole level creep that happened due to that was fucking Cyberpunk during COVID, because that came out and it was a train wreck, as we all know. But it's just everywhere you go, it's like more shit to do. And by the time I was done with that game, I had a sniper. I one-shot it. 3 shots. I find the final boss, kill Adam Steve guy, whatever his name was.
Adam Steve guy is his name. It doesn't matter.
3 shots with my sniper rifle that could shoot through anything.
Yeah.
And he was dead. And that was the end of the game.
I dig it. That's money well spent. But so the new Assassin's Creed, I saw some people commenting. They're like, do feudal Japan.
Well, we kind of already had that.
Be like Ghost of Tsushima.
That was Assassin's Creed, feudal Japan.
I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima because I do Xbox and the Switch, but I've heard it's incredible.
I did play it, and that was, again, another COVID-like gift because that game was beautiful.
Yeah,
it had its limitations, but it was beautiful, and the open world was just magnificent, and I really enjoyed it up until like the last 25% of the game, where I was just like, oh my god, can I just finish this game?
So speaking of finishing games, here's one that's going to be an ongoing service game. Overwatch coming out with Overwatch 2.
Yeah, that's great.
I have been spending exorbitant amounts of time on Overwatch recently. I don't know how that game gets its hooks in me, but it does.
It did for me in the beginning. I played for like the first few seasons of that game, and then I was like, I don't have the time to be good enough to play this game.
There are a lot of people that I wish would come to the realization that you have, because they wind up on my team.
Yep.
And I'm looking at them doing, I'm like, oh no.
See, at least you play on Xbox where you can communicate with your team. I tried it. I played it on PS4 where nobody fucking talks to each other.
So nobody talks to each other on Xbox either.
Oh, see, I grew up on the X. I used to play. I was an MLG level Rainbow Six player. Nice. So I played Rainbow Six, Vegas, and Vegas 2. I went to MLG competition, whatever, right? But I played the fuck out of those games. And it was all about communication.
It is.
You can't not have communication in those games. And they were semi-realistic, so it was fun. But yeah, I don't do any kind of competitive online games anymore. I just don't, because I don't like people anymore.
They do require that you have communication.
Yes.
And I
don't have any friends.
Play unless I have 2 or 3 guys to go in there with me, because then a crap team can beat a really good team with communication.
And I'm literally seen it happen so many fucking times.
There's so many times where I'll see somebody like go around a corner and look at the other team and just instantly know they're communicating, because something will happen and they will just intrinsically break off.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh god, we're in trouble.
That was the
what
thing
have they
about
decided on?
That is the thing about games that I really loved when that thing happened where with Xbox 360 where people could really just play with each other, like Modern Warfare 2, the first that demo that came out was that was life changing. It was world changing. And I played for 2 weeks. I had a broken arm at the time. I broke my collarbone in a motorcycle accident, so I had nothing but time.
Right.
And Percocet. So I took Percocet and I sat at home and I played fucking that shit. And it was like, this is what video games should be. And now it's like we are so far beyond that, and it's just people running around in little groups of 2 or 3 people or by themselves fucking off.
And people just being constantly toxic all the time.
So
there's no
toxic.
good game. There's no, hey, good try. There's no, can you
get good scrub?
Something like
your
that.
mom's a fag.
Crazy. But anyway, so Overwatch 2 is actually the reason I brought this up.
That's what they say. That's it.
They're getting rid of loot boxes entirely.
What?
Okay.
No, there
it's
was
one of my favorite parts.
I know. Now they are implementing a season pass where you will unlock things throughout the season and have a store that you can go in and directly get your cosmetics
Yeah,
from.
but you have to actually pay money to
Oh,
get
of course.
In certain instances, yes, you will.
Oh, gosh.
But I bet you there's in-game currency you can buy stuff with, too.
All I want to do is be Junkrat again and have fun. And I can't, and I know I can't, so it's over. That was my favorite character.
No, he's definitely, he's
my
one.
jam, dude.
We were just talking about cosplaying at Tampa Bay
So
Comic-Con.
Tampa Comic-Con, we were going to have Megan go as Roadhog because she's pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
And can have the belly, but I can't go as Junkrat. That's not believable.
And I don't know if I'm like at the point where I just want to.
You'd have to go as Ramstein or whatever.
Reinhardt?
Yeah.
Ramstein. What an amazing name.
Dude, you should be Ramstein Reinhardt, dude. You should do
Reinstein.
You should totally like make a Reinhardt costume and do it in like the and just black and like do your face up and be like,
that would be killer.
That would be amazing.
I could go with Reaper though too. I'd do Reaper.
Reaper's an easy. You could probably because you can wear a mask.
Easy.
Coat, mask, and a couple of handguns. I'd have to like.
I would love to go as
belly.
Junkrat. I don't know how I would do it, and I won't shave my face, so we're kind of out. I guess
that's what I say about a lot of cosplays. Like, well, do they have a beard?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the strongest chin.
Hence
the beard for 20 years. The mask. Hey,
all right,
ladies got makeup. We got face hair.
That's right. Yeah, and ours is easier to put on.
It's absolutely.
Yep.
You only got to do it. Never.
grow it, throw some beard oil in it. Anyway, let's take a second break. We kind of went a little bit long, but we got Marvel left. No, you're good. You're good. So we're going to take our second break of the day, and I'm going to figure out which mouse works. Oh, my God.
Not the magic one.
Oh, my God. All right, this is seamless and weird. Okay, I just discovered something cool, and I'll talk to you about it after the break. Oh my God, it works!
Oh my God!
Oh my
Keyboard
word!
Setup assistant. We are back in business, back from the break, ladies and gentlemen. Jack has just figured out how his computer works,
That's
and
right.
now we're on the next level.
That's right.
Welcome back.
Speaking of which, we're talking about Marvel. Here we go.
Yeah, but you told him what the fancy thing is.
Yeah.
That you
So
found
I figured
out
out that my mouse for my laptop works on my computer as well.
What he
and it
found
dual
out.
screens.
Hold on.
He found out how Apple works.
Right. That's not what happened. He's still
It's
wrong.
100% what happened.
No.
No.
It's not
Your
your mouse
monitor-
working.
yeah, she knows what's up.
It's not your mouse working with the monitor. So we have an Apple monitor, and he's using his Apple laptop, and he's using the mouse
It's an Apple
for the
computer, not a
laptop.
monitor.
It doesn't matter.
But the
whatever.
It's an
Built in.
iMac.
Yeah.
It's Bluetoothed, and so he was shocked that when he drug his mouse over, that the mouse rolled into his monitor, which obviously they're not connected by any cord. It's just
It's
Bluetooth.
magic.
It's not that the monitor isn't connected to the mouse.
Now the magic mouse
It's that the computer is
is
connected
dead
to the
because
computer.
that's how magic works.
Yeah.
But yes, Jack he's a special boy.
Megan Austin, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay! Technology! Yay! I'm actually pretty okay.
I'm a big kid now.
I shouldn't have been so excited to find that, but I was.
No,
I really was.
It's
But he's
beautiful.
like, how did the monitor connect to my Amazon mouse? It didn't. That's
Life
not what's
is
going on.
about the
Magic
small
was so
joys,
real for a
ladies and
moment.
gentlemen.
That's right. Oh boy. All right. So I'm going to bring you down a peg.
Okay.
All right.
I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down.
Tom Hardy has come out and confirmed that Venom 3, the script is complete. It's a thing.
Okay.
I love Tom Hardy. I love him. I really love him. I didn't watch Carnage yet.
You shouldn't, and you don't want to.
I
Skip it.
tried. I
Skip it.
started it, and I was like, "Is this?" Me and Serena were watching. I'm like, "Is this bad?"
So
Skip
I've
it.
made the list that you made earlier. Carnage, way up there. He's
Yeah.
high on my list. I was very amped. Everybody that's listening to this goes, God, Jack, we know you love Carnage. Get over it. But that movie was so freaking bad. And now that I see that there's a 3, I'm like, I don't stop bringing things that I like. You ever see that episode of
Yes.
South Park where they found out that Indiana Jones is coming back and it's just a half an hour of George Lucas and another director, I forget who it is, raping Indiana Jones?
No, but it sounds like South Park.
Do they have?
And they're like, what are they doing to my friend?
So we obviously already knew that this was going to happen. You've seen
Yes.
No
Yes.
Way Home. Okay,
Yes.
and at this point we've already spoiled it to death. And if you haven't seen
it had to happen anyway.
Right.
Carnage has to come into the Spider-Man universe. I mean, Venom has to come into the Spider-Man universe.
Right.
They have to become best buds. Whatever. Sooner or later.
We already knew that this was coming. We already knew, but have they come out with a not like a surname for the movie, but have they come out with a name?
It's with a working title right now, which means
Okay.
nothing. So
but after
Boys'
that
night.
Carnage dumpster fire,
bad.
I don't
Bad.
even know what to expect. And I'm going to stay open-minded and pretend like that movie maybe never existed.
Who's the director? Is it the Carnage director or is it
That
like
is a
the Spider-Man?
That is
Superb
that has
question.
not been confirmed yet. I don't think.
I
Hold
would
on, let me
like
take a
to
look.
assume that if he's going to be released into the Spider-Man world,
That it's gotta be somebody
it's gotta
good.
be somebody good. That it's not
Taika
going to be-
Waititi?
And there's no way that movie didn't fail on a larger scale than the Alter Ego podcast. So I'm telling you, I would be shocked if that director came back to touch Venom. That's just my
I don't
personal
know who it is. I think
input.
it's the director from Deadpool. That was the
Sure,
James
perfect.
Gunn?
that did it last time.
Did James Gunn? Oh,
No, the other one.
I'll look it up right now.
Who did
on
Deadpool?
the
I thought
fact.
it was James.
No, it wasn't
No.
James Gunn. That movie would have been explosive if it was James
It
Gunn.
was still brilliant.
Still brilliant, yes. But James Gunn he's a very colorful director. And
Yes, he is.
yeah.
Let's see. Director was how did we forget Andy Serkis?
Oh, yes.
Oh, he directed
Carnage.
Oh,
Yes.
poor Andy. I love Andy Serkis.
I do too.
We talked a lot of
God
shit
damn
on
it.
that. We talked a lot of shit on
He
old
is-
Circus.
I'm gonna say that it wasn't his fault.
I'm gonna say it's not his fault too, because I've seen so much stuff of him where they have handed him a shiny turd and he has turned it into magic.
I bet you they gave him the worst fucking
I
screenplay
was going to
possible.
say, was it, you think it's the writers then?
Oh yeah, it's the writers.
I think it's
Because
Sony.
in all honesty, it's like think back to the story. The movie itself was visual. Did I not say this when it was visually pleasing? I had even right after the movie, we left. He's super disappointed. I'm disappointed.
God.
But I was like, you know what? That movie looked incredible. It looked awesome.
and it had no
But
substance.
the fucking story, and I know I said I was going to stop saying that. It was terrible.
Walking
because
out-
we lose such a significant, and it's not even if we lose, like if Carnage comes back, sure, great, grand, wonderful. We all know that it's possible for him to come back. It's not possible for Woody Harrelson to come back, and he was the best option for that character.
Yeah.
He was the best, and he's not coming back. He's
was-
not going to come back.
It was just a bad story.
It was just bad.
yeah,
Carnage
That's
doesn't
what-
give a fuck about anybody. Why did he love somebody?
Why would he sit
He
there
doesn't
and be
care.
so worried about his girlfriend from way back when?
He
That's why I was like, I'm not buying this.
Do
man.
not humanize Carnage. That is not at all what
Carnage.
he is.
That's
his
the whole
name.
point.
His name is fucking Carnage.
It's in the title.
It's in the title.
Carnage, but I am love. No, stop. It's so stupid.
I want to know if somebody was reading that.
Now
Was
I
like,
have to
whoa,
go
whoa,
home
whoa,
and watch it
Don't
because-
do this. What are we doing here? Has anybody read Carnage? I'd be like, is there
That
any
was-
source material around?
How about Carnage USA? That one alone
Yeah.
is dark as shit.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I
Carnage USA?
just want to
Oh.
tell you guys, I love you guys. It's so rare for me to be around people with such strong opinions about such nonsense like myself that it's so refreshing.
This is actually what we're here for.
I know. And listen,
Yeah.
I'll be back anytime you have me. Like I really am enjoying myself.
So let's get away from that before I get super sad.
Yeah, I'm getting sweaty because
Let's talk.
You
let's talk,
are. You're getting worked up. You're red.
stressed out about Carnage.
Are you Carnage?
Anyway, Kevin Feige.
Let's talk about Miss Marvel. Has anybody had a chance to watch any of Miss Marvel? I know you
No,
haven't.
I haven't had a chance. I've seen it. I'm gonna give it mad credit and see where it is. I'm hoping it's great.
It's doing well.
I have opinions.
We'll
We'll get into it. So the story that tied Miss Marvel in this week was that apparently it has ties to Spider-Man No Way Home. Makes sense. She's in New York.
Yeah.
I would love to see Tom Holland swing in this and help her or do something. That would be incredible, especially because they want it to be a mentor-mentee type thing.
Yeah.
That's something that we've talked about for a while. And a really, really funny story about her. Apparently, when they were making this series was when WandaVision was releasing.
And she was watching it in between
Watching the show
That's
in between
pretty dope.
takes.
Yeah.
In between
That's
takes.
some
I'm like,
inspirational shit right there.
Yeah.
Because WandaVision was excellent.
it was incredible. Not to mention, apparently, while she was doing that as Miss Marvel, Tom Holland walked in dressed as Spider-Man and was like, "Tell me everything about this series. I want to know." And she was just like,
Squeeze.
So she's freaking out because Tom Holland is coming over to say hi and ask about her show, and she's watching WandaVision, and apparently they're trying to get those two together. That would be incredible. I'd love to see Spider-Man, and I'd love to see Captain Marvel.
I would love
I'd
to
like
see
to see it all.
Spider-Man in a
So here's
See, I don't
in a
don't
TV
know.
series.
Agreed. I don't know any Ms. Marvel history. I don't really know the character.
I think
so
that's
it's
where
like
we differ.
Yeah.
It's
So-
like that's why I like it so, or like I'm not like in love with it, but it's doing very well in my personal opinion. I like it a lot.
how is it
But-
versus the boys?
The term polar opposite.
Yeah,
comes
I know.
yeah.
Everything's
there
a polar
isn't blood
opposite
in
to
this
the boys.
one.
Yeah, okay.
So
So
here's the thing.
There's
Here's the
not
thing.
eyes popping out and guts falling. It's just
And heads
roasting
exploding.
humans.
Couple things about Miss Marvel. It is the best rated Marvel TV show that's come out, and at the same time, it is the least watched Marvel TV show to come out. And I have theories on this.
It's not that.
So,
it's not exciting.
It's not exciting. They're playing
There's
it
2
really
episodes
safe with her. And I'm okay with that. Here's the other
She's
thing
a
I think
child.
with
yes, it's true.
with our culture also being what it is,
Yes.
there is not anybody out there. It's going to get the same treatment as Black Panther because everybody came out and was like, oh, Black Panther is the greatest movie of all time. They don't want to point out any plot points. They don't want to say anything bad because they don't want to be put in that negative spotlight of potentially being racist because they didn't like
I still
Black
did
Panther.
enjoy Black Panther, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I
But
enjoyed
it's
it.
a culture.
I liked
It's
it.
cultural drive.
I enjoyed it.
And-
Do I
and
think
culturally
that
It's the greatest Marvel movie? No. But it's a good movie.
not by a long shot.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
And Andy Serkis was great in it.
And so was, may he rest in peace, Chadwick
Yes, he
Boseman.
was.
I
love
loved
Chadwick
him
Boseman.
as Black Panther.
Yes.
Now that movie, I was like, there's some issues with it. I'm not really crazy about certain parts, but it's a good movie. But now everybody's coming out saying, oh, Black Panther, it's just this iconic, wonderful movie.
But that was-
And
that
I'm
was-
like, can we just calm
I
down?
felt that
and-
way about Age of Ultron.
But
Like,
that-
I liked
That's
Age of
also
Ultron.
like we've talked about this on the show too. I love that idea of it too, though, because
Right.
it brings people that aren't comic book fans out of the woodwork to
For sure.
love a
To love a
superhero.
superhero.
For sure. And
Regardless.
That's what I'm going
And
to...
that's what I think is that's where I was. Yep.
Unite in the love of all things super.
And it's very cool to see, her culture and the way things work.
Yep.
I feel that's very educational and awesome, but it's just fucking boring.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't stay boring.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the problem. You got a new IP, not a new IP, but you have a new character coming on the scene. You have to do all the fucking boring
I was
backstory
gonna
shit.
say-
You have to.
So-
And I think a lot of people aren't really educated into a lot of different cultures. So I think a part of it is that we're only 2 episodes in. So there's a lot of that kind of happening. She's a child. There's a lot of like cultural norms for her specifically that probably, I would say, at least 85% of the world
have
don't know
no
or
real idea
understand.
about.
If there are any problems with this show, it ain't the main character. That girl can
No,
act
she
her
can
little
act
face
Yeah,
off.
is she that good?
She is.
She's really good.
What has she
Great.
been in?
I don't even
That's
know.
the thing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to
So
watch
very
it.
good.
she's great. I love her. It's just the direction that it's going in. And so they have changed her powers as well. In the comics, she's an Inhuman. So she's on
basically-
Earth, and everybody kind of has that Inhuman gene. And when they get exposed to Terrigen gas, their powers come out. And long story short, Captain Marvel's just like Mr. Fantastic.
Miss Marvel.
She can Miss Marvel, yes.
Okay.
She's like Mr.
Rubber
Fantastic.
lady.
She's rubber
She's got
lady.
the big
That's a-
fists.
Gets the
Yeah, that's
huge,
terrible,
huge
though.
fists, kind of stuff like that.
They don't want to go with Fantastic Four type shit.
But there's a reason that they didn't do that. And you said
Right.
it was because they haven't released
Well, it's
the
because
X-Men
because
into, or not the
Inhumans
X-Men.
and
Right,
X-Men
yeah,
and
Inhumans,
all
the
that.
X-Men.
Fantastic Four and the Inhumans. They haven't really released that in the MCU yet, so they kind of spiced her up
Yeah.
a little bit. Still kind of has that big fist feel
Yeah.
to some of it, but there's a lot of differences.
So they made
compared
her
to-
Marvel's Green Lantern. So she
Yes.
has these powers and the little gauntlet thing that helps her in whatever she can imagine, which as of right now is just like stepping stones.
Mm-hmm.
She can create it with her mind and use it. And I'm like, okay,
down.
that was my response. Okay, so let's kick it up a notch. Let's see where we're going.
And I think we will from this point forward. The way that the last episode ended is there was a little bit more suspense and action and her
Yeah.
involvement. But I think the first couple episodes kind of staged her life as a teenager because they have to do that.
Yeah.
And it is, I feel the same way. It's a little boring, but it's like the first chapter of every book.
And I didn't watch a lot of Marvel series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of that fact, because they were just too slow paced. I like my stuff a little like now they're doing a good job, like 5 or 6 to 8, 9 episodes.
Yeah.
Whole story arc, lots of interesting stuff. So I'm sure that it will live up to that.
Well, to me, Loki's still the king. He's
Loki's
top
the
of the
king.
mountain.
Loki
for
was
sure.
amazing.
That's the top one.
Loki was amazing just to the breadth that it gave to the entire universe and
Yes.
the character.
and the furtherment of the entire overall plot of the
Yes.
universe.
Yes.
And I mean, Hawkeye's my
literally
favorite Avenger, and
expands.
I liked Loki more than that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I didn't watch Hawkeye yet.
So speaking of Disney Plus,
I hear it
series,
is.
This is the last story we got for the day, but there's a lot to unpack here. There is a Wonder Man Disney Plus series
Who's
in
that?
development.
Who's Wonder Man?
We're gonna get there. In development with the Shang-Chi director Destin Daniel Cretton.
Damn it, I didn't watch that one yet either.
Oh, that one's.
I heard it's really good.
That one's
You
good.
watch
I know.
Shang-Chi? That's a good
So
one.
I
that's
know,
one that
I
I
know.
thought
I'm
was
behind.
going to get the Black Panther and Miss Marvel treatment because there's been this this trend of honoring people's heritages, and if you're going to do a movie about a Chinese man, you have a Chinese actor. They have Chinese directors and executive producers to have the feeling go in
Right.
that, and that's what I think people are basing their reviews off of, not the content of the movie, which they should. Shang-Chi,
Fucking dope.
Shang-Chi was dope, start to finish.
I got to watch something
Great one.
tonight. So
I'd give you Shang-Chi.
Yeah? You think
Start
Shang-Chi's
there.
the way to go? Okay.
Yep.
You want to see some wholesale ass whoopings and some good story.
I
That's
do.
Shang-Chi.
I do. All right.
So executive producer is the director of Shang-Chi, and the writer is going to be Andrew Guest, and he's going to be the head writer for the series. So first off, let's talk about Wonder Man. Wonder Man is alter ego Simon Williams, who was a very rich person who worked in an industrial, I guess, warehouse or whatever. He owned it from his father. And then none other than Tony Stark runs him out of business. He goes to jail for trying to embezzle money out of the company. It doesn't work. And then he gets out of jail and hooks up with a certain Baron Zemo. Baron Zemo
you bastard.
then experiments on him, kind of like, I'm going to help you out here, and turns him into Wonder Man. Now, I had to look a little bit of this up because I didn't know who he was either. Simon Williams gained his superhuman powers due to chemical and radiation treatments with ionic energy by Baron Zemo, giving him, here's the list, superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, agility, and reflexes. This thing said that he's supposed to be as strong as Thor. Holy shit.
So he's Wonder Woman.
Essentially.
Wonder
I was
Man.
reading this and I was like, oh my God. And so
But, I mean, Marvel and DC, they did that. Lots and lots.
with Thunderbolts in development right now, that makes sense for Baron Zemo to have somebody set up like Wonder Man to want to take on the Avengers, which is his original idea, is to create this entity that will kill the Avengers for him. And Wonder Man gains a conscience throughout that. And one
becomes
of
a wonderful man.
Oh boy.
one of the stories that I saw, this is where I was like really blown away by the power, is Wonder Man shows up to talk to Captain America to apologize for attacking the Avengers and wanting to, Cap's like, you should come join us. He's like, I'm going to earn that. And in this conversation, Red Hulk shows up and attacks Wonder Man. And he says, after dispatching of Red Hulk, I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If this guy just houses Red Hulk and says, I'll be an Avenger one day. What? What? Like, that's power. That's somebody, you beat the Red Hulk?
Yeah.
Can you start today?
Right.
I mean, we're really cool with you starting right now.
Yeah.
So, Wonder Man, when I look at this, I thought he was more of like the TV star superhero, like the Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I play a superhero on TV and actually is a superhero. And I thought that's going to be great because then I was like, what has Andrew Guest done? And I looked up some of the things that he's written. He was a writer and executive producer for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He was.
This is going to be fun.
He was a writer for 30 Rock.
This is
and
gonna
for
be fun.
and for Community.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
And was an executive producer
Did you
on the
say-
Hawkeye
I
series.
know
I
his
spaced for a
name.
brief
I've
moment.
heard his name. But
Did you say who was playing him?
No, they haven't cast him yet. But I was
this
just
supposed to
reading
be a
that
Disney
like,
Plus
oh
thing?
my God.
Is this a Disney Plus thing? It's got to be.
Yes, it is
Yeah,
Disney
yeah.
Plus.
Oh
Yeah,
my god!
I'm down. Feed
Who
me all
can
the
play
little
that?
side
All right, so,
stories.
forgive me. I'm going to go to Wikipedia and just read you this first paragraph.
They should,
You
but
ready?
you know who should play it?
Who's that?
Fucking Homelander.
Oh, no. I want him to play Wolverine.
I want him to play.
yes.
I want him to play a good guy so bad. Like, I love that fucking guy. What's his name? I don't know.
Anthony
Great
Starr.
star.
He's such a fucking crazy person in that show, and I know that I'm a terrible digresser, but my point is, like, I'm just dying to see him play like an actual good person.
Wolverine.
No, I
He
want him
could
to
be
play
a great
Wolverine. He could still be a dick.
We've seen
Is he?
some
He's
fan
too
arts.
big to be Wolverine. He's tall as fuck. He's
No,
like,
not.
he's got to be like 6 foot at least.
Is Wolverine
Wolverine's
short?
like
Wolverine's
5'2".
like 5'2".
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Little guy.
Hugh
So,
Jackman's
Tom
like
Hanks
six
should
foot.
be Wolverine.
Huge Ackman.
Huge Ackman.
So here's the powers and abilities for Wonder Man. You ready? Sean Williams gained his superhuman powers due to a chemical radiation treatments, ionic energy. Talked about that.
Heard
Baron
that one
Zemo,
before.
giving him strength, speed, yada, yada, yada. While Zemo's initial aim is to use ionic energy treatments to make Wonder Man at least the equal of any Avenger, his treatments surpassed his expectations and endowed Wonder Man with strength comparable to that of Thor. In Avengers, the Children's Crusade #3, Captain America describes Wonder Man as having Sentry level strength.
What?
If you don't know who Sentry is, Look that up. That is like, oh man, you're about as strong as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Zemo's treatments also grant Wonder Man virtual invulnerability, immortality. So Paul Rudd can't play him because he's actually immortal. He's also playing Ant-Man. He enhanced physically, likened to greater stamina, agility, speed, and instantaneous reflexes. Zemo outfits Wonder Man with a rocket pack in his belt to achieve flight.
You mean he can't fly?
Right.
He's got to be able to jump really fucking far. I mean,
yeah. Due to his self-regenerating ionic energy, Simon has the ability to go without air, food, or water. His eyes also glow bright. His eyes also glow bright red, and usually wears sunglasses to conceal the effect. But Simon can normalize their appearance as well.
Johnny Cage.
Of course.
What?
I don't know, man. Look, I love the MCU, but fuck, it's gonna get it's at some point it's gonna get retarded.
There's a lot of
it's gonna be ridiculous.
Different versions of this guy.
Oh my god!
So we're gonna end up seeing where that goes. I was just looking at it like, oh my gosh. I mean, here's the list of abilities on his Wikipedia.
He is a Mary Sue.
Flight, immortality, virtual invulnerability, superhuman strength, speed, agility, stamina, reflexes, enhanced vision and hearing, healing factor, ionic energy manipulation, power recycling, electromagnetic manipulation, energy enhanced strikes, size alteration, shape shifting, self-sustenance, and teleportation.
And a huge ass penis.
Yes. I mean, no, he's compensating clearly.
Size, he can manipulate size, right?
Okay.
So
he can
wait. Here in small print, it does say micro penis.
Oh. I'd take a micro penis to have all those powers.
Right?
The only thing I got is a big old dick. What the fuck?
Especially because if that's all the stuff and like size manipulation, I'd be like, don't ask me any questions about that. Okay?
It makes you like you pretend like you're using a pump.
Yeah.
You can pump it up at your will. At relaxed, you're just a micro penis.
Almost. Yeah.
I have one Marvel question.
Okay, what's your Marvel question?
Who was the dude in Guardians of the Galaxy that the gold ass people, the gold ladies, who was in the casket?
So
it was Adam Warlock, or is it, and why hasn't it shown up yet?
Dude, we were just talking about this the other day. I was like, it's been like 8 effing movies.
Yeah, I was expecting him by now, the whole thing to happen by now. I'm confused.
But we do have our next Guardian movie coming out. So.
That's true.
That's what I was gonna say. There was the whole thing where James Gunn was fired from Disney and taken off the projects, and then he was doing
huge mistake.
He was doing
huger than my penis.
Suicide Squad. And now he is doing Guardians 3, where Adam Warlock is expected to make an appearance. And they couldn't have Adam Warlock be so prominent with Infinity War and Endgame ramping up, because he's obviously a pivotal part of that story. Yeah. So for him to show up and be bigger than all those guys that they've put,
we gotta wait for Wonder Man.
Exactly.
All right. Peace out, y'all. This has been fantastic. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you showing up. This has been the episode 108 of the Alter Ego podcast. I've been your host, Jack Austin. My beautiful wife is here with us,
lovely Megan.
Bye,
Ryan will be here with us next week, so don't miss that guy too much. And Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Glad to be here. Love you.
Catch you next time.
Be good people.
Well, yeah, peace on earth.
Goodwill
to men.
If
you take anything from this episode,
be better.
Be good.
This is all not cleared by HR.
Yeah. Pretty damn much. Happy Father's Day, everybody. I know he said that, but...
My girlfriend is down on Father's Day.
Oh, dang.
Well, good thing you're not her dad. All right, y'all. That's going to do it for us. We'll catch you next time.